Welcome back to another episode of Cal and Power. Today we feature
Cade York, recent 124th pick in the draft by the Cleveland Browns. First drafted kicker, or earliest drafted kicker in the fourth round since 2016. Also the owner of Florida. I just saw that an NFL posted it again, and the Gator chomp was so sweet.
Yeah, it just felt right to do it in the moment.
Then was it 50, 59 yards, 57?
57.
What was like going through your head with like that fog? Like I bet you've had that question asked a million times, but
That's definitely the go-to question. To be honest, the fog wasn't the biggest of my worries. When you got out there, it was kind of like it had been around the whole fourth quarter, so by that time, it wasn't like I went out there. I was surprised by it. Kind of just lined up where I knew I should, and yeah, the lights were flashing, couldn't see too much, but the same thing as any other kick. You just a little bright.
yeah, that was crazy on the Gator logo too.
It definitely made for a pretty good moment.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Texas, right?
Yep.
Growing up, were you played soccer too?
Yeah, that was my first sport.
Yeah, so you were more like watching sports. Were you more into soccer, or were you just watching everything?
I mean, I watched the NFL and stuff like that. I didn't really get into college football until much later, but yeah, I watched a lot of Premier League and stuff like that.
Yeah, who was your favorite team growing up?
Premier League was Liverpool.
Yeah. What about NFL?
The Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Did the Browns play the Cowboys this year?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they did.
The last time
2
they
years
played
ago.
it was in 2020.
2020, yeah.
So that would be 2 years from now.
Yeah, so we just have a few questions. If we can jump into them, that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, for sure. Sure.
Before the NFL draft began, did you have like any assumptions or like guesses on who was gonna select you?
Actually, the Browns is kind of what I told everyone what my best guess was. Just talked to them a lot. They showed a lot of interest. Had a good relationship with Coach Prefer, the special teams coordinator, and as my best guess of where I was going to end up.
So getting drafted, you were the first kicker drafted, and you are the only LSU kicker to ever be drafted. Is there any high expectations on you? Is there any added pressure being the only LSU kicker drafted?
Not from LSU, because honestly, my time at LSU is over. Did everything I could there, so I wouldn't say there's pressure from them. Like, I think there's a question basically of whether there's pressure from being drafted that highly going into the Browns. And honestly, I think if you think about it the wrong way, yes. But really, you just think of it honestly as you just got the easiest opportunity possible to just go in somewhere rather than having to deal with undrafted free agency and stuff like that and the pressures of that. And I get put in a great situation going in, and I'm the only guy there now as a kicker, so I get to work on what I need to work on. And I think I basically told myself to just you got to find the line between confidence and cocky. And I got to go in there with a chip on my shoulder and act like a pro and be a pro and basically go in there telling them, like, honestly, you drafted me in the fourth, but I'm going to be worth a first, second round pick when I get there. So that's kind of the idea I'm going with now, to try and give myself something to where I don't get complacent. I don't worry about living up to the expectations of a fourth round pick.
That was going to be one of our other questions as well. Like, we were going to ask, since they cut both kickers, if that, like, going into training camp as a rookie, does that put more or less pressure on you?
It changes the dynamic. I don't know if I'd say less pressure in competing. I definitely know now that as long as things go well, it will be my job. But it basically changes the dynamic of where, instead of worrying about, it changes the dynamic. I don't know if I'd say less pressure in competing. I definitely know now that as long as things go well, it will be my job. But it basically changes the dynamic of where, instead of worrying about putting up good charts and making every kick, I can go in there and work on things I need to work on to make it to where I peak at the right time and have a great season. Where I can go, like I already have talked, whenever I can, I'm going to be going to the stadium rather than just staying in the practice field to be able to work on reading the field and just getting used to it and stuff like that, just like you would anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that's kind of changed the dynamic. Rather, than going in every day competing against two other guys and going in there just competing against myself and trying to get better.
If someone were to tell you, if someone were to go up to you your freshman year at LSU, and they said that you were going to be drafted in the 4th round, what would your reaction have been, or were you always kind of expecting to go to the league?
To be honest, it changed so quickly from soccer to football towards the end of high school.
It was like a 2-month span, right, where you were playing football and then like LSU recruited you?
Yeah, it was a very quick turnover from thinking college soccer to being college football. Honestly, when I got to LSU, it was so surreal just being a D1 kicker and going to big school like that and starting that it would have been too surreal to even think of a spot like that, especially doing it in 3 years. And honestly, it didn't really hit me until after my sophomore season that, okay, you could go do this in the NFL, and it could happen sooner rather than later. And even thinking 4th round it was pretty crazy. And coming out of this last season, I gave myself a goal. I told myself I'd leave if I thought I was a top kicker. And I felt like I was when the season was over, so I declared for the draft. And usually the top kicker goes around the 5th round. And that's been the trend through a long time, besides Roberto Aguayo, basically. So that was my goal, was the 5th round. I told myself, don't get your hopes up, but 5th round would be a great goal, and ended up getting better than that. So that's all I could ask for.
Have you ever been in Cleveland before?
I've never even been to Ohio.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, I actually have an aunt that lives in Cleveland, though, so
What part of Cleveland does she live in? Or do you know off the top of your head?
I actually don't even know.
All right. Because I was going to ask you that question about the infamous Cleveland weather. Like, you're from Texas. You lived in Louisiana for the past 3 years. Like, how do you feel you're going to handle the Lake Erie weather?
To be honest, I know that it has been a very popular question lately. And to me, there are kickers that have probably kicked in more cold weather games than me and stuff like that. But when it comes to the wind, I understand that there's a strong wind, but there's wind everywhere in the country. And I know off the lake it's stronger. But to be honest, I like swirling winds more than I like head-on winds, because if you just hit a clean ball, you're going to know where it's going to go because it won't affect it as much. Again, I have not kicked there yet, so I don't want to undercredit it or overcredit it. When it comes to the cold, I got to get out there and practice when it gets cold and kick out there, and maybe wear a couple more layers than I did at LSU.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that you can convince the Cleveland Browns as an organization to build a dome.
I don't think I have that kind of pull yet.
Oh, don't say that.
Not yet.
Maybe after a couple good kicks, you can nudge front office to put a roof on.
The Browns have had 9 kickers in the last 9 seasons. I was going to ask you if that, not if that has any pressure added onto you per se, but do you plan on just rebuilding the kicking aspect? I'm blanking on the word, but do you plan on changing the stigma behind Cleveland Browns kickers?
Well, yeah. I'm definitely not going with the plan to be but I mean, it's kind of the opposite of what I had at LSU. I followed a really good kicker.
Yeah.
So it's a very different kind of. I don't know if it's more pressure or less pressure because they think like, okay, I'm here to change it, or we don't have too much hopes because we've had a bunch of bad kickers in the past. I'm gonna try not to think about it honestly. That's not gonna be my main focus. So to answer that, I really don't know if that's more or less pressure, honestly, because it's very opposite of what I did. I followed like All-American season at LSU, and that was big shoes to fill. So it's kind of the opposite coming in. But honestly, every kicker that's been here has been a solid. Like I'm friends with Austin Seibert, who was here a couple of years ago, and he's a great kicker, and he's having success in Detroit. So I know it can be done, and I know that there have been good kickers that have been here, and I know that some guys have struggled, but I'm coming in and just doing what I can do best.
Yeah, and you're pretty young too. You turned 21 in January, correct?
Yep.
So I'm hoping you'll be a Cleveland Brown for a while. Obviously, I'm hoping everything plays out the way it should, but hopefully we have you for a while.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Are you familiar with Gabe Burkich? Have you talked to him at all?
Yes, I know he is from. Me and him have spent times over the years. Used to go to the same camps. last summer we were in Tennessee together, and we've been together a lot this spring during training because we work with the same guy at the combine, everything like that.
Oh, sweet. Because he, the private school like down the road from us that one of our buddies in the room goes to, he went to that school too. His dad,
Okay,
like,
I knew he was from Ohio. I didn't know how close to Cleveland he was.
yeah, he's probably what 45 minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, he's like the school he went to is like 10 minutes down the road from us. So.
Okay, I know he just signed with the Vikings.
Yeah, I saw that too. How many kickers were drafted in the draft?
I think it was just Cade, I think. Let me check.
It was just you?
Yeah, and then 4
Uh-huh.
punters.
Some punters.
Oh, yeah, Matt Araiza from
Did you punt in high school too?
Yep.
Did you play any like other position or you just
No,
mainly
I
kicking?
really didn't, just honestly because of soccer.
Oh, so you balance both football and soccer?
Yep, played it. Soccer was like a year-round thing because of club soccer.
Oh yeah.
And then I played football and high school soccer, so it was a lot of stuff.
That's how I play football and one of my other buddies do too, and that's how our kicker was,
Okay,
both
yeah.
soccer and football.
I don't know too many kickers that don't play soccer.
Yeah,
So
that seems.
no.
How did the transition go? Did a high school coach like try like recruiting you to play kick, or did you kind of choose
So
to join?
I actually just wanted. So I was on like a really good club team when I was in 8th grade, and we had just gone to Europe and played in 2 tournaments and came back. And I basically told him, I was like, I'm not going to play high school soccer because I know we're not allowed to, and we're not allowed to play football. But I was asking if I could just kick for the football team so I could do something in high school rather than just be the soccer player that leaves school early to go to practice and doesn't know anybody. So he's like, yeah, you can, and stuff like that. Then the first, bill came along for the team, and it's usually what that team is, a big travel team. We, traveled all of, internationally, stuff like that. So it was the first check came along, or the bill, and it was, way more than it was supposed to be. Could not afford it, stuff like that. So I was like, what happened? He pulled my scholarship away and made everything full price because I played football. So I ended up quitting that team, playing high school football, and then ended up joining another soccer team 6 months later, and playing high school soccer too, and ended up playing competitive soccer again, for a really good team. But football just slowly took over, and by the time junior year happened, halfway through, I got ranked really highly, and then I started talking to a lot of coaches, and there's a lot more money in football with just scholarships and post-college stuff like that, so ended up taking that route.
Yeah, well, it worked out pretty well, I'd say.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
So you've been traveling a lot with soccer when you were younger, and then with being with LSU for 3 years. I gotta ask, what's your go-to fast food on the road?
On the road is hard because my favorite is a Texas Whataburger is my favorite, which is only kind of in Texas, Oklahoma. They have a few in Louisiana now. There's not many up north. I don't know. I'm at the. What's y'all's favorite? What's the Cleveland or the Ohio spot?
Well, a lot of people say Raising Cane's. It's like a little chicken place.
That's okay. That's from LSU.
Yeah,
is it?
That's from South.
Yeah, the original one is on campus.
Really?
I'm very familiar with that.
They just opened one nearby. A lot of people, they're just spawning on every corner, in Ohio now.
I'm gonna have to hit Cane's up. I've met their owner a couple times.
You're sponsored by, what, Velveeta, right?
Yep.
Let's get you a Cane sponsorship.
I'll have to hit my agent up about it.
Whataburgers in Cleveland.
There's a Whataburger in
Yeah,
Cleveland?
there is.
Apparently there's a Whataburger in Cleveland. So,
Well, that's gonna be my first spot to hit.
I think, on a fast food burger standpoint, Swenson's is one. It's kind of like,
Is that up north?
is it up north, you think? Yeah. Swenson's, Five Guys, Steak and
Five
Shake.
Guys is good.
Five Guys, yeah. It's so expensive, though. I'll get, two
Yeah.
burgers and a shake, and it'll be, $26.
So overpriced.
2 burgers? Oh my gosh, you.
Well, no, not for, me and a buddy or say.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I couldn't throw down 2 Five Guys
Y'all
burgers.
have I know it's on the coast, in North Carolina. Cookout.
Nah, never heard of that.
Okay.
What's your favorite kind of food? Like not like a fast food standpoint, but just style of food.
Honestly, my go-to, I'm more of a savory guy, but over getting dessert and crap like that, I'm always burger and fries. That's
Okay.
that's my cheat meal, everywhere. Like I'll eat a lot of other things, but like pizza, like I don't like eating a lot of because it just makes me feel terrible.
Yeah.
Same pasta, like I mean it's all good, but burger and fries is like if I'm gonna eat like crap, it's gonna be that.
Yeah, Cleveland pizza is it's really greasy, I'd say. So, I'm trying to think, what are good burger spots in Cleveland?
You already named what? Steak and Shake.
Yeah, I'm saying like
Swenson's.
actual restaurants. Swenson's, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Five Guys.
Five Guys.
Oh, did you say Shake Shack?
Yeah, Shake Shack. I don't know.
Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shakes. Yeah.
Y'all have Wahlburgers too? I know that's
Yeah, we got one in downtown actually.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple in Dallas area now, but I know that's like a Boston thing. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's good. We have one. When do you have to come to Cleveland? Are you like in the?
Next Thursday, so a week.
Okay. Are you in Louisiana right now or Texas?
I'm in Texas right now. This is like my childhood home.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I report next Thursday, and then basically, I know we have to be there for 6 weeks, and then we're off for some time, I think. But honestly, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to stay up there the entire time. So
Yeah, I might as well just get situated and everything. Have
get
some time off.
situated, get the work I need up there, and stuff like that. So
Do you golf at all? I'm just curious
yes,
of
I
the
do.
shirt. Okay.
Yeah.
Both of us work at a golf course, so we just,
Okay, y'all. What golf course?
Chardon Lakes golf course. So if you ever need a course to play, just shoot us a text and we'll hook you up.
You ever,
I'll do that. I want to play. I've heard the golf courses are nice up there, and I want to come try some out. So,
Yeah.
if you're ever in Chardon, by any chance, you got to stop by Chardon Lakes.
how far are y'all from Cleveland?
It's about
30 minutes, 35 minutes.
yeah.
That's not bad. I can do that for sure.
Yeah, so-
I'd be down to do that. I'm excited to play some golf this summer.
Yeah. I mean, the weather's been pretty crappy here right now, but
Yeah.
Hopefully
hopefully
this summer. What do y'all get in the summer? Like 80?
85. I mean, it's really humid. That's the worst part.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
gets-
like dry heat. It's just that moist, humid heat.
Y'all say that, but I've been living in Louisiana.
Yeah, that's right. That's fair. So
That's 100 degrees and moist. So
That's
I
crazy.
get what you're talking about.
yeah.
It's horrible.
So on the topic of Louisiana, you spent 3 years at LSU. Obviously, you won the national championship. That was your freshman year, right?
Yep.
How like crazy is that? Like your freshman year, it's like you get there, Joe Burrow's quarterback. You got a whole star-studded team, and you guys go out and win a championship.
It was like honestly it set me up for failure because I freaking do that my freshman year, and the next 2 years we definitely went the opposite side of that. But I played with y'all got Grant Delpit and Jacob Phillips that were both there when that happened.
Mhm.
So I got to play with them my freshman year, and I mean it was played in some crazy games and some of the most memorable times of my life. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, trips to the White House and like national championships and everything. That's the ring. So I've never seen pictures of that.
Very, very, very great start to college. It kind of just it spoiled me.
So what? And the White House visit. What you guys ate McDonald's, right?
No, that was Clemson.
That was
So
Clemson. Ah,
We got to go into the Oval Office.
okay. I wasn't sure. I remember one of them was McDonald's.
Yeah, that Clemson did like they had like a giant table with like McDonald's and like Taco Bell and like KFC and stuff like that. So
Cade, I gotta ask you this. I got a buddy who's gonna kill me if I don't ask you this. So I was going through your Instagram and I saw that Livy Dunn follows you. Now, I'm just gonna ask this one question, no follow up questions. Have you slid in the DMs yet?
I have not.
No. Dang.
We both went to LSU. Saw each other around every so often. I think she had a boyfriend for most of the time. So wasn't ever anything like that. A little bit older than her, so
Yeah.
kept my distance.
You got any like good stories from LSU or like how Coach O was?
Coach O was definitely a character. I have a lot of those stories that probably shouldn't be speaking again of. He was like the ultimate like
Football
man,
guy.
make you want to run through a brick wall. There were multiple times we had these thing called special teams like call outs. So it was the day of the game, like you had meetings. But the last meeting we would have before going to eat like the pregame meal was it's called a special team call out. So basically, it was every phase of special teams, like field goal block, kickoff return, punt return, and then onside kick and onside recovery. So basically, whenever your unit was called, all the starters would stand up in the room. And so if they called my name on field goal, it's like Cade York is down, and then my backup kicker would stand up, it's like Preston Stafford is in. But it turned into so it's basically working on substitutions, making sure you're paying attention, know who you're backing up or who is behind you, whatever like that. But it turns into this crazy event basically where whenever if I was called down, my backup kicker would just do something absurd to hype everybody up. So it ended up being everyone was stone cold monsters and pouring all over themselves, just absolutely crazy. They'd play music really loud to start, and Coach O would run in before big games. He would get really excited. There were a couple times he ripped his shirt off, just had to get a new shirt, crazy stuff like that. Broke tables, broke doors, crap like that. So my freshman year, my backup was Connor Culp, and he was known for doing the most insane, he was the king of call-outs. He always did the most crazy stuff. He created the stone cold monsters that would spray all over the ceiling. He'd just dump it all over himself. It was awesome. So we were at the national championship, and all day him and Preston, one of the other kickers, were planning his call-out. So they decided that they were going to the entire day jump on an ironing board to loosen it up. And by the time the call-outs came, they had brought the ironing board in there and set it on the side. And when they said York was down on field goal, Connor ran up to the front of the whole, because there's 100 guys in there. You run up to the front of it's a big hotel room, like a meeting room or whatever, the big ones in hotels.
Yeah.
Runs up to the front, right in front of Coach O, literally shoves Coach O all hyped up, sets a chair up, does the two monsters and dumps it all over himself. And someone sets up the ironing board, and he jumps up about 5 feet, almost hits the ceiling, and then pile drives through the ironing board.
So he needs to go to the Bills.
Oh my gosh, it was insane. Coach O, you just see his face get so red, and he just runs and grabs the ironing board and breaks it. It was that those were some of the coolest moments for those call outs.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw the video of, it was spring break. Those college kids were messing with Coach O. How scared should they have been?
Those kids did not know who they're messing with. That's Coach O's, when he has that underbite come out, that's when you know he's pissed off. I don't think there was a person on the football team, other than maybe some of the 300-pound linemen, that could have beat Coach O up. That dude was crazy.
I feel he's the definition of dad strength. Just don't mess with him.
He would run 5 miles a day just shirtless we have a levee on the Mississippi River. He'd run up on it, run all the way down and come back. There's so many pictures of him shirtless just because he runs so often. He's 61 and he's in that good a shape. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. What else we got? All right. Hypothetical situation here. We wanted to ask. You want to ask them?
Yeah, I'll ask you.
This is your question.
Okay, so life on the line. You get a free kick from 10 yards out with an Argentinian goalie. You got to get it past them, or a 50-yard field goal. Which one are you Which one are you hitting first?
Are you talking about just no conditions?
No conditions, no weather.
The field goal.
Field goal, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm pretty confident I would score the PK too, but depending on who's in goal, I don't know. So
that's fair.
You still play soccer, here and there?
I mess around with everyone. I haven't played an actual game in 4 years.
Yeah.
But I can still juggle and do some tricks and crap like that. But
do you play fantasy football? Did you ever get involved with that?
I played it the last 3 years at LSU. We always had a specialist group.
So what round pick should I pick you with? If I'm on the clock, what round do I get my kicker?
Realistic, or is this me trying to show you should take me? If we're being realistic, I'm not gonna get taken. I'm probably gonna have about 30% of leagues have me picked, and it's gonna be the last pick. But I understand because I'm gonna put up like at most like what kickers never put over what like 12.
Yeah, I think
And
like
it's
12 is a good
that's
amount.
ridiculous game too. So I don't think I think like I think I would put up some points, but like
Yeah, that's what I
maybe
like to
wait
hear.
until you get like your quarterback and your running back and wide receiver, and then like if you want to splurge, you can
Round 7. I got you. Round 7. You were freshman year, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you know this on top of your head or not, but I believe you were the second highest, like most scoring player in college football behind Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
No, we're right. How does that feel to be like behind like Jonathan Taylor, who's like doing crazy in the NFL now, and it's like, oh, you were second behind him.
So honestly, like when that happened, I didn't know. Like my freshman year, I had no idea who he was. I just knew he was a running back putting up like crazy numbers. And I didn't realize it was him until literally like someone like last week brought it up. And I went back and looked at it. I was like, oh crap, that's like that Jonathan Taylor. Like I didn't even remember. I knew it was a running back somewhere that had scored more, but honestly, it wasn't even me. It was freaking Joe Burrow scoring so many touchdowns. I had like over 100. I had like close to 100 PATs that year.
You were like, you had a streak of like 139 in a row, right?
That was after my freshman year. I missed
Okay.
a couple my freshman year. I haven't missed since like I think I got one like someone on Alabama like busted through the line so hard my freshman year and blocked one. I don't think I've missed since then.
Have you, in your college tenure, have you gotten like any tackles on kickoff or have like been lit up or anything or lit anyone
So
up?
I've been like clipped on a couple field goals. I actually didn't start for LSU on kickoff.
Oh, okay.
My guy, Buddy Avery, had been starting a year already and was the best in the country his freshman year. So it was like I would kick off all the time just at practice. But by the end of Avery did the job great. So they never really we left at the same time. I had one kickoff last year in a game just to get a rep because I asked him to. Other than that, I really didn't. So I didn't have any chances for tackle.
Oh, okay.
I got one last draft question. I know we keep kind of flip flopping about to college the draft, but
All good.
has there been any NFL kickers, past or current, that have reached out to you since you've been drafted?
Yeah, I've reached out. So I've actually talked to Austin Cyber, the guy that had been in Cleveland. Talked to him a little bit. I actually have a call with Phil Dawson tomorrow.
Nice.
Just get some pointers
man.
and talk about some plant cleat stuff that he has some knowledge on. So I'll talk to him tomorrow, and then, I mean, I'm buddies with a few guys around the league, but other than that, I mean, everyone's busy with OTAs and they've got their own stuff.
Yeah, that's nice.
Awesome. What was I gonna say? Crap, lost my thought. Oh, so you're from the Florida game. You're known as having like a lot of swagger, I guess. Like you said, there's a line between cocky and confidence, which is sweet. Who's gonna have more swagger, you or Evan McPherson?
Well, I think he's definitely got the upper hand on the clout right now. I think that I love Evan so much. He's the nicest guy ever. He's had literally the most ridiculous postseason run I've ever seen.
What, 2-game winners, right? Some,
it was like 14-14 or something like
Wow,
that.
that's
I
nice.
can't remember what it was.
especially on
Like,
that stage, too.
to do that, not only as a rookie, but that many long field goals, and to do that in the playoffs, that's ridiculous. And some of them were game winners. So, like,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm jumping up.
Oh.
Just like, I think we both have a lot of swagger, but I think he's definitely got the upper hand right now just because he deserves it. He's proven himself, and he has that proven swagger. I'm going in with the rookie swag, I guess.
I mean, yeah, him in the Super Bowl during the halftime show, sitting on the bench. that was fun to watch.
I'm not gonna lie, I might have done the same thing. We go out for halftime anyways to start warming up. Why not watch
50 Cent hanging upside down.
all of them?
You have anything?
No, I'm good on questions.
Is there anyone in the league that you've like are really excited to meet like before or after games?
I wouldn't say that. I think part of me is like you have to start acting like a professional, and these are guys you're kind of competing against now. There's guys I've watched for a long time, obviously. I'm decent friends with Will Lutz at the Saints.
Right.
So whenever I get to play them, hopefully sometime soon, I'll definitely be excited to play against him. I think we play Miami this year. The long snapper I had my freshman year at LSU is at Miami, so that'll be cool. His brother, long snaps at Buffalo. I think we played them too, so it'd be cool to see him. Jordan Stout, the punter that just got drafted, is going to Baltimore. It'd be cool to see him. But I wouldn't say there's anyone I'm going to go up and be a fanboy of.
Yeah.
I don't think that's very professional.
So we do this segment with our guests each podcast where it's called Fraud and King of the Week. So if you have someone you want to give a shout out to, which is the king, and then fraud doesn't have to be someone, it could be something that's been that have irked you or been an annoyance, I guess, or just a fraud.
Or it could be a place. Just anything could be a fraud, essentially. It doesn't have to be a person.
Okay. For the fraud, I think ESPN or somebody rated me number 4, earliest pick or pick taken too early. So they're the fraud for doing that.
Draft grades are so stupid.
Overrated.
How do you grade a player right away on? I don't even know. I don't even want to get into it. It's just silly.
In the week, I've had a lot of good stuff that happened this week. So I guess the Browns for freaking taking me in the 4th round. I mean, shout out to Coach Prefer and Stefanski for doing that. I guess I'd make them the king of the week. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, he's got the LSU shirt on. I got the Browns shirt on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Had to represent.
Did you order that? Did you already have that?
The LSU shirt? No, I had a buddy who had it, so I had to go to his house before this and get it
That's a
from him.
dedication to the podcast.
Yeah. I what episode is this? 15?
It's 15, 16, 17, somewhere around there.
Somewhere.
All good.
So you're the biggest guest we've had so far.
We really appreciate you coming on, Cade. It's been an honor hanging with you. And you got anything else you want to add?
No, I mean we appreciate you. One more question I want to ask. Do you know what number you're going to be this season?
Yes, I don't know if it's been released or anything yet, but I guess I could say it's the same amount of points I should be putting on the board.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's a pretty good.
I like that.
Yeah. Do y'all have a Twitter or something that y'all post this on, or the link or anything like that?
Yeah, we have a Twitter account. I can send you that in the link of the Twitter and also.
No, yeah, just whenever you post it, text me and I'll retweet it or whatever.
All right, you're the man. Appreciate it.
Pump the views up.
Yeah. Also, like I said, if you're ever down to check out a couple of the golf courses over here, we can hook you up.
Oh yeah, I'll text y'all whenever I get some free time and get my clubs up there.
Awesome. Thank you again, Cade. We really appreciate it, and we wish you the best of luck this season. It's been awesome having you on, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, no problem. Y'all have a good night, man.
Thank you.
Going, Cade.
Good luck this year.